Thank you so much, Ron. Cool. Thanks for the invite. I'm Thies Beekhuis, Solution Engineer at HYCU. Like just said, based out of the Netherlands. Before joining HYCU, I was at Google Cloud. I was one of the partner engineers here in Europe. So that's where my background in Google is also coming from. For the coming 15 minutes, I would take you through how you get data resiliency and recoverability for Google Cloud right. And some of you probably wonder, why should I even do that? Because isn't that already covered? If you look currently at enterprise corporate data, over 60% of that is already stored in public cloud. And with that corporate data in cloud, you also see that every 11 seconds there is a ransomware attack on data worldwide. I think the latest number is even down to 6 seconds worldwide. And not only with Google Cloud, but basically with any public cloud or any SaaS service, they all use the shared responsibility model, meaning you are responsible for your data. Google Cloud provides you the platform to build the solutions on, but the data is always yours to protect and to secure. And with the shared responsibility model, you're also responsible for anything that happens around ransomware attacks. If your data gets hostage, anything that happens around data loss, human error is still one of the major events we see daily, not only on premises, but also in the public cloud platforms like Google Cloud. And now and then downtime also in public cloud happens. So you need to have a backup strategy for data resiliency in public cloud as well. When I talk to my customers, I quite often hear three counter facts that they say, yeah, but data protection in cloud, why do I need it? Because when I have my data in cloud, it's already protected. That's what cloud takes care of. But back to that shared responsibility model again, everything around accidental deletions, your data corruption, your ransomware attacks, cloud outages, you're still responsible for that data and you still need to protect it. That's not by default done by any of the cloud providers. Also, quite often talking with the more technical people, they say, yeah, but the cloud provides me with snapshots. So if I can take a snapshot, why then still need a backup or data protection around it? Snapshots, even in Google Cloud, is not the cheapest option to store your data. So it's quite expensive, but more important, you want to have your data application consistent protected. So you want to be sure that you also can recover your application and not even the whole application, but even maybe smaller parts and have granular restore as well. Next to that, snapshots is something you have to manage manually, quite often done with script, automation around it, but something that has to be maintained, something that needs to be updated, and something that's prone for errors. And the third one we quite often hear is mainly the people that have an on-prem environment are going into hybrid, multi-cloud, already have a data protection solution for their on-prem environment and say, why not run that also in public cloud? But then you're going to bring basically the on-premises constraints into public cloud. And with that, take, for instance, an instance in GCP, install the data protection software in there, update it, maintain it. It's also something you still need to plan and to size. So everything you have on-prem is gone when you move that same thing into public cloud, and you don't get the benefits of public cloud that you're looking for. So how do you find the right solution? And for that, I think it's good first to look at a couple of design considerations. One, you need that elastic skill. Like you saw just with Mahesh's presentation, one of the reasons people go into the second generation is, of course, because of skill. And not skill only up, but also down. You need to have the ability to adapt to your business needs quite quick. And for that, you need a solution that also scales like a cloud solution scales. Of course, for a cloud native backup solution, you also need to have that zero maintenance. So really focus on set and forget. No operations, no manual installations, no updates. It needs to be a service. You start it and you can use it. Of course, running on a specific platform also requires that you use the native capabilities of that platform. Because when you use the native capabilities of the platform, one, you get the security and the reduced risks with that. But two, it also brings the simplicity into the platform. So a cloud native backup solution should comply with native things in Google like identity and access management. You already have it, use it also for your data protection. In cloud, we see, of course, a lot of new services coming up. Just now saw Anthos, for instance, and every service that Google Cloud is releasing on a monthly basis. Back to that native platform integration again. Here, again, you see if you have that native integration, you also have the ability to adapt to innovation faster. And not only 2-3 times a year, like with general data protection software, but when it's released, you need to have it rapidly in place. And in comparison with on-prem environments and on-prem software, you move to cloud also for a different financial model. So no pre-commits, no vendor lock-ins. You need to have that flexibility, not only to scale up and down, but also the flexibility in how you pay. So really a solution that's focused on pay as you go, but not only pay as you go, also only pay for what you use. If you look at cloud native backup solutions, they should only be consuming resources at the moment they do something. Not like the CloudWatch kind of solutions where you have an instance, you install your backup software in, and before you have backup anything, your infrastructure already costs 10K per month because of all the instances that needs to run just to have the software up and running. This is exactly where HYCU comes in. HYCU Protégé really provides you with a single platform to unify data protection in a hybrid multi-cloud environment. From a single pane of glass, you can not only see your environment, but also easily manage it and protect it. Protect it, one, from a backup use case, thinking back on why do you need to back up for the accidental deletions, the human errors, the ransomware protections, one of the larger use cases currently. But not only for backup, specifically also in a hybrid multi-cloud, also for your data mobility and data migration. A lot of customers are, of course, struggling with how do I move from my on-prem environment into cloud native, into GCP. And with a single pane of glass, where you have your protection of your data sets and your workloads, application consistent, you also instantly get the ability to move those workloads from on-premises environments into GCP, but also from GCP back to on-premises again. And since we can do that movement between the different platforms, you also get the disaster recovery use case. Because now you have the ability to not just invest in a secondary data center, but use GCP as your secondary data center in first instance, for instance, for disaster recovery. And then again, only when you need the resources, you start to pay for them, not before. Looking back at those cloud native backup requirements where and also why people move into cloud, how HYCU Protege for GCP aligns with that is first of all with the application consistency that we provide. Application consistency for backup, but of course also for recovery. Because we are a platform native build, that also means that the service doesn't need any extras like agents, proxies, gateways, or anything else. Everything is built on platform native technology. With that, we can also do the platform native integration on applications, protect them consistently, and provide you granular recovery also for applications. Of course, for those customers that are moving into cloud or have already a hybrid environment and want to have data mobility between the two different platforms, that's where we provide the data migration and mobility. From our on-premises environment, we natively integrate with GCP services, and in GCP, we run natively as a service, and the two are integrated and can move workloads from on-premises into public and from public back to on-premises again. That also enables that disaster recovery. So we can just leverage GCP as a DR target, only have the copy of your workloads available in Google Cloud, and the moment you need them, you can start them up. But also, when the DR is over, you can also fill it back again. But of course, this is quite close also with your migration and mobility, because once you leave them running in GCP, it can also be part of the data migration. Everything we do there and everything where the simplicity from the solution comes from is because it's purpose built for GCP. Like I said, it needs to integrate with all the technologies the platform provides. So HYCU Protege for Google Cloud is also built on the Google Cloud capabilities, like identity and access management. So if you sign in the service, you do that with identity and access management. The security is set on what data can be moved and what access is available to cloud storage buckets, for instance. That's all done with storage accounts. So every capability within identity and access management is also utilized throughout the solution. But not, of course, only for your authentication, also the services that run in GCP. Think of Compute Engine, Kubernetes Engine, cloud storage, integration with SAP HANA, not only on a VM-based backup principle, but also the integration with the GCP backend integration for SAP HANA. And everything we do there is built on that simplicity and skill GCP provides. So one moment you cannot backup or you don't have a backup running from anything, and the next moment you can backup 100 instances, 1,000 instances, or 10,000 of instances. And afterwards it scales down again. And so does your cost as well. So that's what really a simple cloud-based SaaS provides. The simplicity really coming from purpose-built solution based on the Google Cloud technologies, where there are no agents, where there is no maintenance, and you just use it and it's basically set and forget. And the sixth is really our storage agnostic focus in there as well. Within our solution, everything you do with backup always stays within your own project or within your own billing account. You decide where data resides. But that can be within a different region. So you can also really create region independency and region resiliency within GCP. But it can even be a secondary billing account you have. And when you do a backup from one billing account into a target into another billing account, you really can create an air-gapped environment, also to protect yourself to malicious activities like ransomware attacks. If we look how the solution looks like from a quite high overview, the HYCU Backup as a Service is really a service that runs in Google Cloud and is simply available from the marketplace. There you can subscribe and you get a link where you can log in, and again you do that with your existing Google Identity and Access Management. Once the service runs, it is available in any of the Google regions, and it's also available for any of your Google projects within the billing account. So you don't have to subscribe or deploy it for specific regions. It's one time and it's available worldwide. From there, we will automatically discover all your instances running in Compute Engine, all your containers in Kubernetes Engine. By the way, it is for stateful and stateless containers, and all your buckets in Google Cloud Storage. We also can protect those Google Cloud Storage buckets because we see quite some customers that have quite some important data in there still, use buckets for exports from different applications into buckets, and then want to protect that data not in the same region, but in a secondary region or even in a secondary billing account as well. So for that, all backups that we do go into Google Cloud Storage, where it's completely region independent and billing account independent. And this also connects fully to your on-premises infrastructure. So from on-premises, be it virtual, physical, we can do backups into public cloud as well, into Google Cloud Storage bucket, and then utilize that data in Google Cloud to do disaster recovery or to do migrations from your on-prem workloads into GCP. Looking at one of our customer stories, this is in the higher education. This was typically a customer that had an on-premises environment, was looking for a DR environment. They did that with one of the more traditional backup solutions that made backups into Google Cloud. But to do that in Google Cloud, they needed to run quite a large infrastructure already for the backup software to do the backups into GCP and have the data available there. At that time, they looked at HYCU, and just because we have that native integration on GCP, they got an immediate cost reduction of over 50%, simply because there were no compute resources needed in GCP to have the same use case DR into GCP. Next to the simplicity and the application integration, we provided them on top of that as well. Best is always, of course, to try it yourself. Like I said, HYCU Protégé for GCP is available in the marketplace. It's also available with a 14-day trial. And if you just simply want to get a link, scan the QR code here or go to hycu.com/get/demo. I hope it was interesting for you, and please let me know if there are any questions left.